many of us grow up in these troubled households, and especially people that are seekers of truth. There's a reason why we're seeking, right? There was some sort of unrest or instability that we recognized growing up, and we knew there was something different. We knew there was something better. We knew there was something more healthy. So that I was looking for all kinds of things. I was very interested in wellness and keeping myself well. I have my side of my mom's family that has a lot of mental illness, comes from a lot of mental illness. And I remember at one point telling my mom, I just don't understand why you can't snap out of it. I don't understand why you can't just go for a walk, go do a workout, go do something. I didn't get it until it happened to me. And I got it. I really started to understand, oh my gosh, wow, you can't just do that. It's not just so easy to do that. It's not about just going out in the sunshine all the time. I mean, yes, that's part of it. But there was so much more that needed to be integrated into me to have that healthy sense of self, a healthy relationship again with God. I always joke around, I'm like, if you don't know you're crazy, I don't trust you. If you haven't teetered on that edge, I don't know if I trust you. You know, it's like understanding, and I'm glad that I teetered on that edge, right? It was not comfortable. And I'll tell you, this year has been the hardest year of my life, teetering on that edge and literally hanging on by a thread. Prior to that, I had sat with psychedelics. I've done a lot of different varieties of medicine, psilocybin, ayahuasca, and they all were part of the process and helped. And what I was lacking was a bit of integration with that. I was going to ceremonies. I wasn't really working with anyone, right? So I would go to a ceremony and I'd feel great and I'd be like, cool. And honestly, if I'm very, very honest, in the beginning, it was so ego-driven. It was so much like I sat with ayahuasca, and the first weekend I sat with ayahuasca, I met God. Literally, like, there's no other way to explain it. It was a feeling, it was a knowing. And then I thought, oh, I must be so spiritual. I must be so great because I met God, right? Oh, wow, was that a joke while God's laughing at me upstairs? After I sat again, I was like, okay, then that's where the stuff came in, where like I saw myself. I remember sitting in ceremony one time where I was sweating profusely and on all fours, vomiting, and hearing this message. This was one of the biggest lessons of your life. And literally what I was doing was releasing a lot of codependency. And so it was a big one for me. And I'm still now, that was 2019, probably like 2019. And there's still threads of that, right? I mean, I've done a lot of work since then. But there's still, like, I always say, it's not the work in the ceremony on the mat. It's the work off the mat. And it can take you years and years to work through that. And in my opinion, I also work with people. I serve ketamine for people and do ketamine-assisted psychotherapy, and I love it. And the integration piece is so important, to be able to understand yourself, because if you don't have the integration, you're just going to continue to, the medicine can help, absolutely. You're going to end up at the same place that you were before if you don't do that integration work. With some form of another person being able to reflect and being able to help you, coach you through that process. I can't say that enough. I mean, I've seen, I see people that have sat with ketamine, IV ketamine, and there's many companies out there that are doing it, and there's no integration, there's no nothing. I just spoke with a woman the other day where she went and she did a series and she felt great, but then she came back and she's there again. Then she did another series, and I mean, these are $1,000, $1,500 a pop. Insurance is not covering them, they're paying out of pocket, and then they're right back to where they were. They do get the expansion. So can I say that they're exactly where they were? I'm not so sure exactly that, because the moments have changed and we have shifted, but they're minor. The incremental shifts, they're incremental movements. when you are working with someone alongside of you to help you integrate that experience and help you reflect on what's going on. Now it's monumental changes. And we just had one of our therapists shared a story. He and I worked with someone. She came to us and she was just beautiful soul. You could just see right through her, and she was just beautiful and just really going through a hard time with sleep and a variety of different things. And so she did 6 weeks of that, and she met with him for 6 weeks. And now this is probably 3 months later, and he shares, he's like, she came to me because she's still been working with him. She's still been doing the work, and it's been so beautiful. And she came and said to him, she's like, this place changed me. This place changed me. And it just, when he said that, this was like in a staff meeting, we were talking, and we'll share some of our wins with the group. And I just started crying. And it's not what I did by any means, for sure. It's just, it's amazing what we can do, the power of connection and the energy that we put towards. So for me, it's prayer, you could say, the power of the spoken word, the power of just more energies, intending the same thing, whatever that is, and it's her, right? It really is her. We're just doing the support, and we're mirroring back from her. And he actually was the one that worked with her for months and months, and she did it. She met us halfway, instead of many people not, they're coming in, they're looking to be fixed. And nobody can fix yourself except you. We're just holding space. We're allowing God to work through us. That's great. And there has to be a willingness on that other part. And for me, that's obviously part of the codependency, learning through that, not playing a victim, taking full accountability of your life in every single way, which I still can get caught up in at times. And now at least it's like, I see you, and, not going down that road of victimization and victimhood, but coming back and be like, okay, breathe. Okay, God, I see it. I don't want to see it in myself. I don't like it, but just accepting, okay, instead of resisting it. Because anytime we're resisting something, what we resist persists, right? So if I'm resisting that negativity of myself, if it's trying to come in to show me, it's happening for me, not to me, even though it feels like it's happening to me. It's happening for me so that I can really look at myself, and I can really look at those things that I push down, those shadow, all of that. And if I can really look at myself in that way, in truth and honesty, then it doesn't have a hold on me anymore, right? Then it's like there's no resistance anymore. It's still part of me. I have a jealous bone. I have a manipulative bone. I have all kinds of different bones in my body that are positive and negative, right? And so me being able to just look at that in truth without judgment, which is very difficult, that's where the work is, and just sit there and be like, okay, yep. And you can then relate that back to being in religious or the Western philosophies of there's a darkness in me too. I am a sinner as well. And I'm also, in God's eyes, perfect. So sinning to me is that dark side. And so it's like this dark and light that we have, that when we can kind of be able to move between them and understand them, and also not get caught in one or the other, right? Because if there's light, only light, that's toxic positivity. And then if there's only dark, then that's just evil darkness, right? So it's like being able to integrate both of those, for me, has been where it's at for me. And it's about self-acceptance. Like in Eastern traditions, it's nirvana. Self-acceptance is nirvana. We are really, literally accepting that. And then from that, we fall in love with ourselves.